योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचाम् मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनाम् पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारम् शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम् सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतम् प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम् हरिः ॐ। Bow your head to Patanjali, drop your palms down. You know, this is just a, discussions means when you have certain doubts, I have certain doubts, and I may not be able to clear, and through your reactions probably we two can come together to get the corrections. And remember that you have already learned in 1.5 days how intricate the subject is. Up to now you are not aware that it is such an intricate subject. So we are always on the peripheral level, but now we are touching from the source towards the periphery. So that's why it's very intricate. So when we try to sit and discuss, we should have this background being intricate, how this can be easily understood though it is intricate. And that's why we are meeting here, we are sitting here to find out whether we can find a simple means, if possible, to objectively gather the points so that you can subjectively translate at the time of your practices. So it's a two-way path. Mornings when we tried to put into your body the feelings of my expressions. Now, with that feeling, can we come out so that we can experience something which we have not felt up to now, which can build up for tomorrow's work. and let us think in that way. But please do not come that I have got a groin pain, what have I to do? Then it is not a discussion. You have to come into the subject, but then only the education comes. Otherwise the education does not come. We have to get educated into these poses. So please keep in mind that you should know about the postures, the breath, or whatever it may be in the field of yoga. So let us discuss on that point more, rather than if I got a headache, what have I to do? If I got a cervical spine, what have I to do? It goes on. Your teachers can teach those things. Or you can experiment on your own how to get rid of these things. But do not waste that precious time in these simple things. As we are meeting on a precious occasion, let us also think preciously, paying respect to this jewel of yoga. Now come whatever you want to.
Yesterday you talked about the...
Please stand up and questions.
So that you... Mike.
Yesterday you talked about the 5 elements of nature, and besides having an experience of the elements themselves, what in our practice do we actually do with them? Do we balance them? Do we try to move them towards the ether?
I think I yesterday clearly mentioned that out of these 5 elements, the subtlest is the ether. Unless you start working with the skeletal body, which is known as the element of earth, without working on the physiological body, which is water, blood circulations and all, it is all connected with the element of water. Then the use of willpower, which is fire. Without that, can you work? Which is the element of fire. Because the fire has to reach that area. You are doing Trikonasana. When I said today that you are Parchakonasana or something, Virabhadrasana, about the knuckle, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, I said the knuckle does not touch. That means there is no fire, element of fire there. So you have to charge the element of fire so that the element of water can move there, because fire pushes out, drains that area. So that means the water moves away from that area. The moment comes, then intelligence comes by that. So you have to work with the element of earth, which is bone and muscles. Then you have to study that this element of earth, which is more exertive than the other parts of elements in our practices. When I said you have to stamp the big toe, the space between the big toe and the second toe, means you have to use power. And the quality of the earth is smell and weight. So I said you pound, means use the element of earth more there, so that it is established. When it is established, then you have to say, is the fire moving there, element of fire. Then when the element of fire moves, the air moves there, what you call bioenergy in your languages. Follow now? What we say, the prana moves. The moment prana moves, the consciousness comes there. The consciousness being the element of ether. You understand now? Consciousness is completely element of ether. Does that sky move space, what we call, does it move here and there? We don't know, it's everywhere. Between you and me there is a space. Between her and her there is a space. You follow now? It is open. When the wind blows, then you understand. Otherwise you do not. So we have to reach the element of space. When I say reach, you are very seer, has to engulf this consciousness, has to swallow this consciousness. When it swallows the consciousness, while doing the asana, then what happens at that moment? The elements are all rhythmically working, and you, as a seer, establishes your firmness on those elements according to the power you use. The ratio, according to our science, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 5 is earth, 4 is water, 3 is fire, 2 is air, 1 is ether. That's the ratio. So in that ratio, we have to work. Now today I showed you in Trikonasana, you raise the big toe, mount. What happened? The fire subsided. The element of fire was receding. Naturally, the earth did not hold. It was receding. The earth also went out. So I said, come on, bring the earth back so that the element of fire, element of water may come there again. The element of intelligence, which is the element of air, enters in. So through element, the consciousness enters in. Through consciousness, the seer enters in. And that means whatever you do at that time, all the 25 principles of the creation is felt in each asana when you are performing, whether on the right side or the left side, whichever you do. But your principles are evenly measured. And that's the beauty of the practice of asanas with elements. And that's how you have to study. Now what did I say about the collarbone today? The peripheral bone should be lifted. So how does it lift? You don't use the earth at that moment. With the help of ether, you reverse this direction. Ether, then air, fire, water, then earth. Then it moves up. So it all happens in such a short period, which you have to catch. Understood? So if on both these sides, if you have created space on this side, have I created space on that side the same way? If the fire in this leg, that means the warmth, am I getting the same warmth on the other side? Probably you have not even observed. You do Trikonasana on the right side. Right leg is stable, firm, hot. Left leg? If I ask you, do you know anything about the left leg at that moment? No, is it not? So how to get the same feeling on the other leg? That means a distribution of 5 elements in the other part also without negligence. Then all the 5 elements on each and every particle of the body are evenly balanced. Tato dvandvo anabhigataha. The elements are balanced, so there is no dualities at all. There is no variations at all. The oneness is felt. That is harmony. That's what you have to get it. Somebody can come, do Trikonasana. Just give an example if you want to. Anybody can do it. I don't want to do it, as I told you. If I want to do it, I need not come here. I can practice at home. Huh? Go on, do it. Just to give you an idea, that's all. Go to the pose. Now can you all see his toes? Don't shake, don't play, don't do anything. Follow now? Now, can you see the fire on that toe? It's long, can you see? It's extended. What is this happening? If there is no fuel, there is no fire, is it not? So there is no fuel. Fuel is the one which you have to supply in the form of water, oil. Can you see this toe? Can you see the size of that toe? Can you all see or no? See, this is dead. So the fire is completely extinguished. So what we do, I lift, I charge from here. Now see, the fire came and life came. Just I give you an example. And look at that big toe point, ball point. There is no fire in it. You can see the fire in this big toe point. So how we vary in our presentations when we are practicing. And look at his lower arm. Look at his upper arm. You want to know what it is? I'm not, if you can't catch it. Follow? The bottom arm, if there is no fire in that arm, it's cold. Top arm is fire. Huh? So now where are we balance the elements? Now what I do, knowing very well how my arm is behaving, when the firmness, the heatness, can I get it on the right arm? And did he get it or not? He worked something, he did something. At least he felt, oh, it's also warm. Now is it not warm? Yeah. That way you have to learn. This is how you have to learn to balance the elements in the system. And now turn this, face that way. Now do it. Now he has done it, is it not? Now take the arms up. See the space between the shoulder and the spine on the bottom, and see the space. Is the ether evenly distributed? Huh? Why the ether has created room here, why it has not created room there? How it is sinking. So am I balancing the ether evenly? Now from here lift up, what happened? So I moved the ether. Can you see now I did not move the body. I moved the element of ether, so which extended on its own. So we remember the stretch, what we use the word, is for common people because they can't understand. But as I said, intricate, now come on again, see the space element faded. Move the element, can you see now? Now you can do, see there also. So look at his wrist. Is the element of creating room? So now you come from the element to the earth. While going, come up. Now you go to the pose. Now you go with the earth. Movement is with the earth, not at all with the air or with ether. Go down. Now you have to work because you have worked already the two elements, earth and water. Now you have to charge with the other three subtle elements, fire, air and ether. Come on, try. See, he should not jerk, otherwise the fire will never flame up. And can you see the difference? Just I gave the example, enough. Conquest of element means self-realization. There is no other word called self-realization. When the elements are subdued, what is left? Because these are the elements which create dualities. So the elements are under control. Then where are the dualities? Room for dualities. So that is self-realization. Nobody can use the word that I am practicing for self-realization. You are all using it. You are all using it. But you cannot realize like that unless and until this comes to you. Because they are all doing their jobs. Then the 25th element, the tattva, the principle, is the seer. So seer wanders inside the body then. Oh, you, this element, why are you coming down? Go up. Why are you overstretching? Go down. So then the seer dictates terms to the elements. That is the effect of asana. Okay, next. Anybody?
May I ask a personal question, please?
Yes. If it is connected to the subject.
Yes, definitely. You have been teaching for 60 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you like teaching or do you like practice? And if you do, how would you project yourself in both?
For 60 years I was teaching, I am practicing since 60 years. Both are right. I was raw from the day I started yoga, in yogic field as well as in my intelligence. And I went on practicing doing so that the raw brain may become a ripe brain. I think it took me 60 years to get the ripeness in my brain wisdom. And as such, now I want to do yoga with this ripeness. I did yoga in order to break the rawness. Now I want to do yoga. What type of development comes to me in this ripe attitude of my intelligence? So I prefer to do more. But I took the responsibility of training teachers because I also began teaching in a raw method. And the subject was not at all recognized or respected, this art, about 50 years ago. When I started teaching, at that time India was not divided. India was one, including Pakistan, Burma and all. In 1930s, we could count the yogis of India on our fingertips. But today, even a person who does not know yoga says, I have also done yoga. What yoga? I have done different yoga, not this yoga. But in India in those days, they were not saying like that. That's why we could know who the real yoga teachers were in those days. And this pained me, and I said, let me try. I was too young, because unless I give my background, you will never know. There are lots of books on yoga even in those days as we are having today, according to the situations or the markets available. Today the market is available for yoga, so everybody writes on yoga now because they know that it fills their pockets. When I started looking at the various postures of various people, their writing, their saying was not synchronizing to the photographs which were illustrated. So they became my gurus. I started saying, when they write like this, they say keep the crown of the head on the floor, they keep their forehead on the floor. Why should they write in the book crown of the and keep the forehead? They say your leg should be straight, their heels are back. You see the pictures? They say from the front of the head, your body should be in the straight line, the middle of the nose, the middle of the eyebrows, middle of the sternum, middle of the navel. Look at the picture. Navel is somewhere, chest is somewhere. And that was the clue I got, that I have to get this alignment. Let me work on my own. And that's why I said I was raw. And I have to use this raw technique to get into these positions. As far as I am concerned, I have done my job, so I think, as I said, I prefer to do more than to teach. But in your cases, that's the way the problem comes, not me. Your teachers are already. So as you are all teachers, it's immoral or unethical on my part that devote your time for doing, don't teach. But if you had asked me before you started teaching, then I would have certainly said, do more before you become a teacher. Learn accurately, learn well, get maturity, then start teaching. Now we are in the precipice. As we are in the precipice, I made up my mind when I was asked whether I could take a few days class here. I said, let me give them the ethical base of each posture so that they can drink the essence. Because without knowing the ethic of the big toe, how it has to behave, ethic is discipline. Don't mistake to the colloquial meanings. A way of procedure to reach the purity in that part, or to experience the reality in each and every part of our body while doing the asanas. That made me that I should give you these things. And your job now is to do as it is taught from now on, and to teach what you have experienced through my expressions now. so that the gap you had with the reality of the pose and the illusion of the poses all these days. You may be doing, but how many illusiveness I have shown in your own practices? Take Shirshasana today. How many knew what is right Shirshasana? How many knew that the head of the inner thyroid, the trapezius muscles has to be lifted in order to get extra space in the body? So I have given. So as I have given now, you have double responsibilities. I can escape, I don't want to teach. But if God wills me, I will not stop. That is also true. But in my mind, I say no, I should practice. I practice more now than before is also a fact. You can ask those who are in my classes. Mornings and evenings I am practicing along with the students, plus my extra practice. So I come back to 7 to 8 hours as I was doing in my early days. But the difference then and now is, there I was playing from position to positions. Today I am not playing. Now, if you ask me, I can stand in Parshva Shirshasana 15 minutes on each side. Can any of you stay? Can you say now? I can stay in Viparita Dandasana 15-20 minutes. I stay in Kapotasana 10-15 minutes. Can you say? That with support. Don't think with the props. Forget about it. Props I can stay 1 hour. Independently, that is known as maturity. Now when you use the word Sthirasukhamasana, I am not behaving like other people's meaning. If I can sit comfortably in a cross leg, can I get the same feeling in my Kapotasana? You understand now? So I try to get that sensation of sthirata and sukhata in Kapotasana. That has come because of my maturity. And it swallows a lot of my time now. Previously it was not, I was swallowing time. Now, follow, in the early days. But now, time swallows me such a way that if I stay 15 minutes, I can't do more than 3 asanas or 4 asanas in an hour. And that's what is happening to me. But I enjoy it still. Because that's a new approach in my life. I can sit just like that, it is not yoga for me. But what type of mentality I have, what type of intellectual freedom I have when I am sitting. Can I have that intellectual freedom in Kapotasana? Now you understand the difficulty, the difference between my way of thinking. I can easily close the eyes and sit. Can I keep the same quality of my intelligence in Kapotasana, which is an intricate pose? I do Hanumanasana. So can I also maintain that same quality of that tranquility in Hanumanasana? So this is what I am building up now. So one day you may also jump like that, because the mind takes you. Now you have done sufficiently. Can you get that feeling in that full extension, relaxation? Without using the props. Props relax us, is a certainty. So please know that your job is now double-thonged. You cannot teach alone, you cannot do alone. So you have to do by bringing these new thoughts and imprint them in your body, in your various parts of the body, which I said that Trikonasana feeling is not the same in Uttita Parshakonasana. I said how the bottom foot works in Trikonasana, how it changes. Suppose if I tell you, because I said only 2, you know in Virabhadrasana what happens to the skin? Tell me. Bottom foot? Nobody knows. In Virabhadrasana, the bottom sole grips the floor better than any other parts of the foot. Can you see how you have to learn? What is known as learning? What happens? Where am I? Where am I intelligent? Where am I means where is my intelligence in this pose? Where the intelligence flows on its own. Where the intelligence flows on its own on Virabhadrasana 1, Virabhadrasana 2, Ardhachandrasana. Like that, if you go on studying, the light will come on its own for you people. And the moment the light comes, remember, when the light is on you at that moment, you are a realized person throughout. They go together. So I request you that don't follow my method now, because I have taught 60 years, I may say enough. If I had that mind to do only, today I would not have been here. So I said, no, what I have, let me give away to some who can take it. And I'm giving it to you, develop it, and do it. And remember, I will give you another point also, that when you are teaching also, see that you are also doing it, getting that when you are putting the word to them. Doing and teaching goes together. While teaching, the quality of at the time of teaching is rajasic. At the time of doing is not tamasic, sattvic. Tamasic is those who do not do with integration. Just doing outside is a tamasic intelligence. But expression, exhibitionism, you may say it's wonderful. But it is wonderful because it's an outer expression. But inside that man is tamasic. The doer is tamasic because he does not know anything. He says, people are clapping, so it must be good. So learning is sattvic. Doing is tamasic. Mixing doing and learning together is rajasic. So the light has to come only through rajasic method, not through tamasic method. So when once you develop that light, so you are doing and teaching both become sattvic, and that is the light. You understand? So your responsibility today is that you have to do and you have to learn, you have to observe. You know, in the 3rd chapter of the Yoga Sutra, there is a very useful word used by Patanjali known as Mahavideha Shakti. Is it not, Gita? Mahavideha means, I have given in Yoga Sutras the life of Shankara, who left his body. Now, this is given on a type like a storytelling. Now you and I, as practitioners of yoga, what is this Mahavideha Shakti? Means living this body. I am in this body. When I am doing the asanas, till I get the pose, I am in the body. When the pose is perfect, can I be out of my body to look myself into this body? That is the power of Mahavideha Shakti. Can I be a second person mentally outside my body to observe how this first person is doing? That is learning. It's not difficult. Now I showed you this man when he did Trikonasana, no eater, he moved. So as I said, second person, I told him that the eater is collapsing. So he has to think as a second person, where have I done, where I have not done. How is that I am feeling a sensation, a different sensation here. Why I am not getting a sensation the same on the other part of the body? Then you develop. Then you wait. There is a pause. In that pause, you are an outsider. So as an outsider, can I see myself? As an insider, can I feel? Can I feel? As an outsider, can I observe visually, then you are going to be the finest jewels in your practice as well as in your teaching. This you have to learn. Now, for example, do Shirshasana some. Here, come. I am taking purposely Shirshasana. Do here. Face them. Go up, it doesn't matter. I am not showing about the body. He went as a first person. Yes? Yes. Now he has done the pose, adjust everything. Now he has done it. Now, as a second person, visualize my body. I am looking as I looking on a pupil of mine. Can I look on my body, making my body as my pupil? Do you feel weak somewhere, stretching somewhere, not stretching?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Now, as a second person, adjust that, not as a first person. Now, what happens? Your body moves, or the first person goes there? Huh?
The consciousness changes.
Yeah.
Because it's not, well,
That means the first person moved there. The second person, he himself, as outsider, is looking, and he made the consciousness, the first person to move in. That is known as Patanjali's Mahavideha Shakti. He has used that word, but we don't know when to use it, at what time to bring into our practices. Only we can say Shankaracharya, only person who lived, when entered the body of a dead king. Follow? We have heard these stories, Prakaya Pravesha. So this is Mahavideha Shakti. Maintaining the body, can I look from outside? So I am the first person, I am the second person. Now, as a second person, observe your first person. Now see, look, the body changes. It may move back, it may move forward, the trunk, the skin, the elbows, something like that. Is it changing or no?
oh yes.
Now even your tailbone tells you, as a second person, is my tailbone accurate? First person contracts, the second person tells, no, release.
Yes.
Now come down, see? So you have to work within yourself as if you are two persons. One seeing from outside, one feeling inside. Then you master them. Now do it again. Because first person does not know whether the pose is very accurate or not. First person just uses power to get into the pose. Now he has done it. Look at his metatarsal, both. Are they, don't disturb, be there. One is moving in one direction, the other one is moving in the other direction. Yes, is it not? Yes. So I don't say anything. As a first person stretch, he only stretches, you can observe. Now as a second person, which is out, which is in. Does he moving inside now? So that is known as, you have to convert yourself as a second person when the pose is final, not before. Then again you have to go inside as a first person to feel. As the second person said, turn here, then the second person should be forgotten, the first person, did I turn? Then you have to come out again as a second person. Then the mastery will come. Though I am teaching the dualities. So don't get confused. Follow now? Because that means doer should be an observer. You cannot observe. When I am sitting, I can observe. But now he cannot see anything. So what he has to do? He has to be outside the body to observe in yoga. That's the beauty in yoga, how you can be out of the body, you can be in the body. And this we experience even in dreams, first person and second person. Patanjali has shown, swapna, nidra, jnana, alambana, va. What are these things comes in you? So can we translate in our subjective way? Now come down. So you got the ideas? So it's a very good question what he has asked, but how we have to analyze and decide how we have to work now. But if the new generation wants to practice, as he asked me a question, I said, please learn very well before you want to be a teacher, so that your teaching will not go wrong at all. Because maturity is there in doing, so maturity in expressions also comes automatically. Now we are half this, half that. And this is a transition period in the field of yoga. Because yoga was unknown, as I said before. Now it is sweeping. Now this is the time that we, as practitioners of yoga, who come to us to learn, we have tremendous responsibilities, which has begun now. All were irresponsible, so we had to cultivate that responsibility in them. We did it. I did it, no doubt. So Iyengar, my practice of yoga is the history. Otherwise yoga wouldn't have become so popular. Before me, I have not heard anyone. When I started, striking the matchbox of yoga, matchstick of yoga, the other Mahesh and all came. Mahesh were unknown before 54. Whoever it may be. So it is I who strike that matchstick of yoga to catch that fire. And it caught the fire. And others know that the wind is blowing, so let us also go ourselves. But they are going without giving the base. And whereas we are still holding on to the base, because we know base means conquest of elements. And we come from the conquest of elements so that our understanding is completely thorough. And that thoroughness has to come to you. That's what I am teaching since yesterday. So don't say, let us not teach now, let us do. Because you have already taken the responsibility, you cannot wash off that responsibility. Holding to that responsibility, can I create a speciality in these things for them so that they also get committed without my asking them to commit? Because many of you I made them to commit, is it not? But the way in which now I am teaching, I need not commit. You yourself get committed. And that is a real growth of yoga. So do that way. Okay.
Once again, to your question.
The second person whom you are nominating, could it be called the reflective intelligence?
Yes, yes. That is certain. Otherwise, how can you say? You can't come out on your own. So you have to convert intelligence as an objective intelligence. When he is teaching, he was subjective. Follow? Then, when he has to reflect, the intelligence becomes objective. Then he has to imprint that objective intelligence into the subjective body. It is interchange. You are perfectly right. So how can you, if your intelligence, when it is in a total, no, I will give an example. I think I have given in Yoga Sutra, where I have said, every inhalation has a pause, every exhalation has a pause. Every thought, each thought has a gap. Otherwise, the thought is not continuous. Patanjali is the only person who has explained in the 9th Sutra of the 3rd chapter. Vyuttana, Prashanta, Nirodha. Vyuttana, Prashanta, Nirodha. Or Nirodha, Prashanta, Vyuttana. Vyuttana means raising consciousness, restraining consciousness. Between restraining consciousness and raising consciousness, there is a pause, there is a space. Catch that space, which is known as Prashanta Vahini. Tranquil state of consciousness. Unknown. It is unknown to all of us, but it is there. So Patanjali says, bring to the surface. So similarly, you have to use that your intelligence, when it is acting, you have to put a pause. That pause immediately brings that quality of reflection. When you are doing, you cannot reflect. But when you wait for a time, what have I done? Let me see. Have I stretched my hand? Have I kept my leg? So intelligence becomes reflective, which is objective. So from objective intelligence, you again look into that. Then you readjust the pose, is it not? So you readjust the pose as a first person, but when you are reflecting, you as a body is an object, you look, or your inner intelligence is an object, you look as a subject from outside. So that becomes the object. Objective intelligence looks at the subjective intelligence. Subjective intelligence sends the message to the objective intelligence. Then objective intelligence rectifies. And that is why I have written that all asanas, cognitive, mental, then intellectual, then what you call oneness. Gatavastha, Parichayavastha, Arambhavastha, it's all used these words. So Parichaya means, according to Hatyoga Pradipika or Shiva Samhita, introduction, acquaintance. So intelligence, objective intelligence has to acquaint with the subjective intelligence, and subjective intelligence should acquaint with the objective intelligence. This communion is a must to get the rhythm in the presentation of asana and pranayama. In meditation, you haven't got that one, because you go just inwards. But here is a dual path. You have to go out, you have to come in, you have to go out, you have to come in. So you have to learn this way.
When that dialogue begins, though, it's not possible to be, how do I say this? As a teacher, it's almost impossible to do that while it's happening. It has to come from memory, is that right?
What did I say? When you are doing it, you have to analyze these things. Yes. Then suppose I want to teach today. You should, because you are I am a ripe teacher now, forget about it. I can teach from anywhere, from anywhere to anywhere. But you haven't got that quality. So you know, you go on a certain steps of the ladder for the class. That means your homework in your mind has begun, whether you practice or not. The homework has begun, is it not? In your brain, then as I have to teach, then you have to give a little thought for some time. What should I give them today? You follow? Then your practice with this analysis comes. What can they catch, what they cannot catch? So let me come where they can observe, they can see. So let me give these points today. And you can build up from that. So there is no dialogue at the time of teaching, because you have already made up your mind what you have to explain to them to catch. But dialogue is when you are practicing on your own. It should be there.
The experience that I had in headstand is you asked me a question, and I realized I had to change my mental pattern to answer you.
Correct.
It was impossible to do what you were asking and then still, you understand?
I understood.
Yeah.
Now I have given you, I said, is it not?
Absolutely.
Now you have to build up this.
Yes.
You have to get maturity.
Yes.
Then you have to learn from where it starts in my body to get that consciousness to move. So you have to tell that point. So in order to feel, can you do here? Because they cannot understand immediately. So there is no dialogue there. You did Shirshasana.
Yes.
You felt the consciousness moving. But did you know the source of its movement now? Huh? No. You do it now, you will know. And that's all you have to say. Now try. Because that's the only way the others also understand. Now he did it. Now I told him, he is doing his old pose. Now as a second person, observe, I said, watch the source of the back of the floating ribs, what does it do? Consciousness change or not?
Yes.
Can you say, no, you have to, I caught this source, but he did not know this source. He did not, the body did not move, only consciousness went towards the back of the floating ribs, The body moved on its own because the consciousness moved, the body moved. You understood now? Now I said about the foot. Is it not? As a second person, what's the metatarsal? One is out, one is in. So the consciousness turns, the foot turns. The foot does not turn. The foot does not, he has to be forced turned when even the element of earth does not coordinate with the ether. Follow now? Consciousness. Now turn. Now I am looking. I did not see before. Now you can see it is not turning. Is it not? Now you can see the line here. This is turned, this is not turned. Though I was looking there. Now consciousness, which is element of ether, is not turning at all. Now I come back to the earth. Element of earth. This heavy. Quality of element of earth is heaviness and smell, I said. Now let me make this heavy and turn the element. Now what happened? The element of earth I turn. Now similarly, the element of earth you have to turn. You have to come back to the muscles. Understood now? You have come to the skeletal body because it is not obeying me. What have I to do?
Secondary method.
So gross element is the earth. Subtle element is ether. So subtle element, I cannot move the gross. So let me go down to the gross element, which is earth. Then from there, let me create space. Come on. Now the position changed or not?
Yes.
Can you see now? What happened now? He does not know. I can tell him. Because that is what he asks, reflective intelligence, which has to become objective. He felt a little sensation of lift here. Did you get it or not?
Yes.
So this is the source to tell them, from periphery. Teaching comes from periphery. Practice comes from the source. You understand now? So you have to learn from the source what is the peripheral action. Let me give the peripheral action, then we will tell them to go how the source works, find out. And now come down. You got the point or not?
Yes.
So this is how you have to develop. Dialogues are there. Yoga is a dialogue subject. Otherwise the word in yoga would not have come vitarka vichara. The word is used in all the texts. Dialogue is vitarka. This discussion is tarka. What you and I are doing connected to tarka. When you and I meet together is vichara. Because after the dialogue we have come to the conclusion. That vichara is more mature than tarka. You understand? Any more? What's the time now? That also you have to know. Okay, 2 more questions.
I want to know when we should stop teaching the beginners to turn the foot in. Today you mentioned turning the back foot in is only for the beginners now.
Beginners, yes. Do you know why I said it? Come here. Again I have to show. You are a beginner, come on. Do as a beginner. Now do the pose. Now you turned in. Did it get security or not? Huh? So how can you teach a beginner with creating insecurity? Now turn the toe out. Are you as secure?
No.
Understood, that's all. You understand? So that is why it's a difficult subject, art of teaching also. We have to, as I said, we have to commit them to practice. So first we have to go with security. Then we have to slowly take them, because infinite is insecure, finite is secure. Finite means security is there, but infinite is invisible. So it is insecure. That's the way you have to understand. Infinity cannot be measured. That's why it's called infinite. So it is invisible. So you are going to vastness and vastness and vastness, which creates fear. So why create fear in the beginning alone? So cultivate, then we say, can you open? Oh, I'm a little bit shaky. Never mind, you have done so much, try once in a way. Follow, no? And we build up. And then he faces the vastness. He faces the insecurity in such a way that he can stand. Yes, as I use the word, insecurity is like standing on a precipice. Not here, not there. So that is dialogue. That is the word actually, philosophically it becomes a dialogue. Till then it doesn't become a dialogue. If you are secure, there is no dialogue. If you are 100% insecure, there is no dialogue. In between, on the precipice, you have to be security, insecurity, how to balance. Like, as I said, himsa and ahimsa, how to balance. So when you know, then your mind, as I said today, goes beyond that security. Oh, there is something beyond this. So the leaf opens. The leaf of intelligence opens in you. Then, the moment it starts opening again, that going into that beyond security itself is, you are realizing something which you have not realized up to now. What is that? The self moved, not the mind. My security was with my mind. Now a little further you go, then you say, what is this? I didn't know that mind was holding me. So there is something superior to the mind. That is self. So you understood self. So how to know this self also? Otherwise, like Ramana Maharshi, I can say, know who I am. Let anyone answer, even intellectuals, let them answer. They can easy to quote. Know thyself. Who am I? Easy to quote. But I am everywhere. I am inside, I am outside. So if a stupid man like me go to Ramana Maharshi, I would say, I know only my body. He may say, so, you are useless man. But I say, I am not useless. That's all I am understanding. Show me the way. That is, I know the known. I don't know the unknown. So how can I jump to the unknown very fast? Yeah, are there steps? No steps are given by them. So we build up the steps in between. And that is where the finite and the infinite, you understand both at the same time. The finite merges. The moment the finite merges, the infinite shines. So in all the postures, we have to touch that infinite, which is only possible through the element of ether. But when you move the element of ether, you move the element of earth. Earth is firm. Is it not carried? It's firm. It does not shake. Wind blows. Water flows. But earth, stable. And space has no frontier. Earth has a frontier. Space has no frontier. So maintaining that foundation, the frontier firm, can go to the vastness to reach the ether. And that is what yoga certainly teaches us, and that is known as self-realization. You are one with your understanding. You are one with your movement. You are one with your action. You are one with your wisdom. You are one with dedication, devotion, whatever words you use, all adjectives. So what I am teaching, when you do Trikonasana, what did I say to her? You are here, you are not there. Why don't you be here? Why don't you extend the eye from here to there? I should, but I did not use the philosophical terminologies, that's all. But what do I say? I say from the head to the foot, the eye should exist everywhere. Then what happens? Elements are under control because eye engulfs everything. Eye is the seer. The seer engulfs and sees all the five elements, how they are working. And conquest of this is the effect of asana. God bless you all. One more. All hands are coming this side only.
Guruji, please let us know, while performing a pose, performing a pose, the leader is the body or the consciousness?
Consciousness is the leader. While going, it is the body the leader. They take so fast adjustments. What did I say now? You have to use the element of earth. I use the word. What is the element of earth? Is the skeletal body and the muscles. Then the other three elements are subtle elements. These two are gross elements. First you have to use these two gross elements, then you have to work on the other three subtle elements. Now, somebody can do Vrikshasana, Urdhastasana. Just Tadasana, stretch the arms up. And now, while going, he used what did he use? The element of earth or what? Earth. Now, stretch fully, be there. Now, can you test the element of ether in your body? What happens? Huh? What happened to your consciousness? Expanded. Can you say? That's his language. You have to see, you have to accept. Don't act like Krishnamurti saying you have used a wrong word. Follow now? Because that is his level. So I have to understand his level. I can't judge him from my level. Follow? Now, he said consciousness went up. How can the consciousness go up? What is the element you use for the consciousness to go up? Ether. Now you understood now? So at the end, the ether stretch, not the body. Understood now? The body was the leader in the beginning. Now, hey, interlock your fingers. Now observe. Now ether is not at all moving, so then you can understand better. Follow? His palm is dead. Now I won't say, we say stretch because others won't understand. Can the element of ether feel the palm? What happened? Did you see extension going on? So now the consciousness leads the element of earth to go further and further. You understood now? Now see his elbow. The element of earth is not alert. Did you see that? Are they straight? No, sir. Can you see now? So that means this is where, though it is the leader is the element of earth, that's why it is very intricate, as I say. The ether which is existing outside the elbow should be drawn in, because ether has the power to contract and expand. Is it not? So contract from the back and extend from the front. What happened? So ether he brought in contact with the element of earth, flesh. Understood now? For him in leg, I said from the earth. From the earth he has to go, he has to move when the element did not move in Shirshasana. Why? Why I told him the earth? Why I am telling him the air here? No, the legs are already above. So the earth is loose. The element of earth in your legs are loose. But the element in your arm, earth, in the head balance, is strong. But it is loose. So I told him to work the element of earth there. Here, the arms are up. But still, can you see his grounding? Because he is grounding, the earth is still under his control. So there, what did I say? Bring the ether. Because the earth is working. The interlock, the arm interlock, is the power of the earth, which makes the arms heavy. Don't interlock, stretch. Now, the earth element is floating. So even if I speak to ether, stretch, he cannot. Now observe. Can he contract the elbow? No. Observe. So the gross element is not trained. Whereas in the Shirshasana, the earth element, though it is loose, it is still in contact with the inner body. Here it is not at all in contact. That's why I said interlock your finger so that the element of earth is firmly established. Then move the ether from outside in. So that the element of outer ether, the element of inner ether running parallelly. And now, can you see the difference? This is how you have to learn. So, these 5 elements you have to learn at what time which should be the leader. You don't do, you can't backbench, right? What do you use at that time? You use your muscles, Use your arms? Use your consciousness? No. Use the element of fire. Can you see now? So the leader is the element of fire. Otherwise your chest will never go up. You struggle. Even when you stand, you curve. You are curving. Not the earth, not the water, but the fire. Then only you feel, oh, I feel something burning, extending, hot. Follow? So each one has to understand in each pose. That takes little time for you people. Which element has to work in this pose? Which element has to be educated? Which element is established? How to use this established element for other elements to work? This is how you have to learn. Thank you. God bless. Good. It is really a good topic for us to learn. Thank you. Good learning. Actually, that is the higher aspect of asana.